Hello, my Zenith friends. This is your host, E.T., and I am coming live at you now on the full moon, which is happening right meow. So, I haven't really prepared anything for this video, so I'm going to pull up the astrological map right now and take a look at this full moon and what I can tell you in this moment in this video. I hope everyone's been doing well. I just released a new song. It's called Heart Womb. Go check out E.T. Rainbow Yantra, my band, and listen to my new single, Heart Womb. Available everywhere except for Spotify. So, in the Western, this is a full moon in Cancer, which is pretty importante because Cancer rules the moon. Cancer is ruled by the moon, okay? So the moon is the fastest moving luminary. It's what affects everyone, everywhere, all the time, especially women and their moon cycles, and men in our cycles as well, our connection to nature. Now, one month is the cycle of one moon around the entire zodiac. So that's where we get the word month, is from the moon. So because the moon is the fastest moving object in professional astrology, we don't necessarily always consider it because it's always so fluid and fast. But if we slow it down to a day-by-day event, we can definitely see its significance and the role that it plays in its ability to affect the entire collective, especially on new moons and full moons and eclipses. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. So let's look at this current chart. December 26th. We have a solid full moon in the tropical zodiac sign of Cancer, which, by the way, I'm studying so much Vedic right now. It's like all I do is listen to people speaking in Hindi, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm having dreams in Hindi and having Indian people all around me all the time. So it's kind of weird doing Western astrology. There's a part of me that's like, cut this out now. Because this goes so much deeper. But at the same time, we have the collective, most of the collective, deeply absorbed in the Western sphere. And so I am going to be speaking on that simply because it's what I have been doing and it's what most people resonate with at this time. However, I've already started transitioning my personal astrology readings into the sidereal, into the Vedic, and digging deeper into that Vedic tradition, which goes so deep, honestly, that we cannot talk about any of this now. But for now, we are in Cancer, having a full moon in Cancer, okay, about 6 degrees, which isn't anywhere near Cancer in the Vedic system. Okay, anyway, I'm going to look at aspects. Give me one moment while I do this. So we're receiving some type of... No, we're not. We've got a nice sextile to Jupiter. That's really sweet. So that makes this spiritually inclined. There's a lot of enthusiasm. There's a lot of benevolence in the air. I don't know if you can feel it. With the sextile, 60 degrees, you have to kind of, it's not as easy flowing as the trine. You have to maybe give a couple paddles, but there's still a current there, if you know what I mean. And yeah, it's been quite a beautiful full moon. I've had many close and wonderful, intimate friends reach out to me and, connect on a nice, beautiful level. So I'm definitely feeling this one is very sweet. And that, all lunar aspects to Jupiter, in my personal opinion, in the natal chart, this is my favorite aspect for someone to have. I've had this with partners in the past. It's amazing. When I see this in a birth chart that I read, they're instantly my best friend because I already know Moon conjunct Jupiter is so much fun. So optimistic, so enthusiastic, so benevolent, so spiritually inclined, and just fun to be around. So personally, that's one of my favorite aspects in astrology. So the fact that this full moon has moon sextile Jupiter is a really good sign. There's a lot of people going through a lot of things right now. I feel like I went through a lot of my things, darker things, in the Scorpio season, November, this past year. And now that all of that has cleared and we've moved into a Fucus and we've moved into Sagittarius, and now we're in the Western Capricorn. Sorry, I keep kicking this. I feel like I've gone through all my trials and tribulations. I feel like I'm really coming out a totally different entity than where I was a couple months ago. But a lot of people are just now beginning their trials and tribulations through the winter. So anyway, that's interesting. But nonetheless, moon sextile Jupiter, which means it's receiving a trine. To the sun in Capricorn is a very good, benevolent thing going on. There's some deeper planetary geometry there, but right now it slips my mind, so you're gonna have to, don't ask me that question in this moment. What else do I see? As far as the lunar aspects, I'm a weirdo. I like keep a fire going and my windows open at the same time because I like the cold air and the hot air happening, don't ask me why, but that's just kind of how I roll. Gotta get oxygen and some warmth going on. Okay, moon trine Saturn. This is actually a really good one as well. So, long-term goals, long-term relationships, perseverance, structure, relationships that are long-standing. Moon is our intuition. So intuition in accordance with physical reality. That's always nice, right? Especially someone who works with their intuition professionally. It's like, I'm at the point now where I'm starting to really trust it a lot more, but in the beginning it was like any kind of way that you could anchor in your intuition into the 3D simulation or into the reality of this experience. It's always been mind-blowing to me. So that's always a good thing, we're staying grounded, we're moving forward, we're structured. Intuition has its place among the 3D realm. I love that. That's a very strong situation. And then Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn and Sun being in Western Capricorn, that's a really great sign. A lot of the people now with Saturn in Pisces are gonna like I keep saying in my videos, are gonna have to go through their Saturn return this time. It's not gonna be easy for those with Saturn in Pisces for the next couple years. For this past year that Saturn has been in Pisces, and Saturn has been retrograde, and it's now only at 2 degrees Pisces in the Western. So we still have a long way to go, guys, for Pisces Saturn. And my heart goes out to all of you with Saturn and Pisces. I have close family members with this, and it's like I just have to watch it happen. And it kind of sucks because as much as you want to jump in and try and help people have to learn their own lessons. People have to go through their own things. And that can be really hard to experience if you're an astrologer and you can see it all coming, and it's like, how do I help this person? It's like, you can only do so much, People have to help themselves. That's tough. That's tough and rough and tough. Okay, what else do I see? Mars conjunct Mercury, which is, Mercury's going to be stationing again, and going direct on the 1st or 2nd. So right now, Mercury is slowing the F down, and he's actually, or it or she, or androgynous Mercury is actually conjunct God of War, Mars. So, a lot of our, our aggression could come through our mouths, through our speaking portal. In fact, I was just on Facebook, and someone I know from Santa Cruz is like throwing shade at me on a comment. It's happening right now, and now I can look at this and be like, oh, that's Mars conjunct Mercury on the full moon. Which in the Vedic is in Gemini, which makes Mercury its ruler. So Mercury is actually sitting there in Ophiuchus conjunct Mars. So anyway, if reading the whole Vedic thing for you in this moment, it's like, and that's another beautiful thing about astrology. It's like, then you can understand people on a whole nother level, like, oh, and not take it personally, right? Oh, I don't take it personally that XYZ is jealous and needs to attack or come at me in some way because it's a full moon, 1. 2, this guy's a total drunk. 3, Mercury's the ruler, and Mercury's conjunct God of War, so what would you expect? Why wouldn't I expect anything less? If you start to embody your light, people gonna be coming at you because you gonna trigger them. You gonna trigger them. They gonna see you and be like, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could be like that. And then they're gonna try to attack you because you ain't staying in line and being normal, boring muggle person like you're supposed to be. So, they're going to be coming at you, and you just got to get used to it. It means you're beautiful. It means that you're on your path and you're doing the right thing. And it's not wise to jump into every altercation that you can and defend yourself. Let these people try to bring you down. Let them try to stir the pot, In the end, it actually works out in your favor. So it's taken me a long time to learn that too. And then the most important lesson as well is to not mirror toxic behavior back, because this is how you really set the bar for abundance, set the bar for love, set the bar for whatever it is you're manifesting in your life. If you cannot go into the same frequency that the enemy comes at you with, this is like the ultimate test, because then what you're doing is you're attracting what's even beyond that frequency. You're staying in love, and you're not coming down to the level of, this person's attacking, so I'm going to attack them back, and then because they feed off that negative energy. But if you can just seriously love others and love yourself at the same time, and this does not mean be a doormat. This means love yourself enough to get out of the way and defend yourself, but at the same time, lay down with the dogs, get up with fleas, as egotistical and as, whatever that might actually sound, it's so true. So be mindful, and in those situations, it's the ultimate test, So yeah, I haven't, now we're getting into personal stuff, but I guess we can, because Moon's in Cancer. I have another friend that I love dearly that I've worked on several records with and done a lot of music stuff with, that I've reached out to recently, and wanted to reconnect with this guy, and he keeps telling me oh yeah, let's have a phone call, let's have a phone call. This dude has been prank calling me now for well, really, he only got away with 2 of them, and then my intuition is pretty strong these days that I knew exactly who it was the second time. But the energy behind it, oh, I'm gonna attempt to make this person believe that I'm a genuine nice person, and at the same time I'm gonna be talking all this shit behind his back, and trying to prank call me and stuff. It's just funny. But yeah, the second time he did it, I just heard this voice, and I hear, I have a clear audience. That's how I write most of my songs. I hear them. There they are. Then I write them down, and then The hard work is producing it. You know, it's not writing it. It's not being a channel for inspiration. Like, I could write songs all day long. It's super easy. The hard part is bringing them into the third dimension so that you can hear them, so that you can experience them. So with that said, go listen to my new single, Heart Womb. I wrote it in Santa Cruz. But anyway, after the second time, I really was just like, who is this? I'm like, oh, that's my dear friend who I reached out to, who I wanted to collaborate with and reconnect with, and he's just still in the same frequency of pretending to be one way and is another. So I love him to death, but some people are just not ready for that divine love. Some people want to stay in the competition and the two-facedness and the whatever else. And you gotta let them, guys. You can't be attached to that past relationship that wasn't in alignment for you, you know? Especially dealing with codependency. Like, sometimes we actually believe, like, oh, I need this person. Oh, da-da-da-da-da. You know, I love these people, but I don't need these people. In fact, it's kind of the other way around. They actually need me. And I'm happy to be, like, a loving person. But there comes a time when it's just, you gotta start to respect yourself. And that doesn't mean lash out or mirror the same toxic behavior. That means, with love, keep moving in your direction, in your path. And, you know, like, my heart will always win over my mind in the end. So it's hard because I want to love these people, but they don't have genuine love. They pretend to be one way and are a way, a totally different way behind your back. So it is what it is. The best thing you can do is stay in your genuine spirit, stay in your love, and keep resonating. And you're not doing it for me. You're not doing it for you. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for God. You're doing it for the higher source. And this is what Mother Teresa says. She's like, I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing this for me. Like, this is a love story for God. You know, I think that's beautiful. So remember that. And eventually they'll get it, but it may not be now. And that's okay. It's none of your business. Your business is just your business, and it has nothing to do with any other people. Okay, rant over. Let's get back to the full moon. Yeah, because I love these people, and I want to be on good terms with them. I want to collaborate. I want to create more things. But they feel too inferior. They have to, like, try and bring people down or make fun of people or pretend that they're better than others. So it's not a mutual kind of situation. Like, you know, if you can only be around someone who has to put you down all the time in order to feel comfortable and is not comfortable expressing themselves in genuineness, but they have to have some kind of, like, shtick, or are uncomfortable receiving. Like, I'll be very genuine with people and it'll make them uncomfortable because they're not comfortable giving themselves that type of genuineness, let alone someone else, let alone receiving it. You know, so just remember, your love and what you decide to resonate as has nothing to do with anyone else. It's between you and God. So keep shining. Okay, what else? You guys, 2024 is going to be epic. We're coming into the year of the dragon. It's not happening yet, but from this point forward, the solstice is now ending. The 3 days of standstill sun. Now the sun will be overtaking the darkness slowly, and on Ishtar is when the resurrection occurs and when the sunlight starts to be more prevalent than the darkness, and that's why we call it equinox, equal night, equal day. Okay? That's linked to Easter. It has nothing to do with Christ is born. Actually, yes, it does. The chrysalis, the Christ within, and the Son of God is being born, okay, on this date, so that his journey can reach and overcome and eventually overtake darkness. Okay? So the story of Christ is much older than Christ. But it's a beautiful story, and, you know, without our son, we would all be fucked. So it's important, you know, we've got to give, as true pagans, we've got to give the sun some credit, guys, for real. So, anywho, where were we? Pluto on the edge of going into a Western Aquarius. A lot of people are making a big fuss about this, but the truth is Pluto's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, guys. I don't even know. Everyone's like talking about all this, oh, farewell to Pluto Capricorn. No. Spoiler alert, Pluto is actually going to retrograde back into Capricorn. Don't ask me when, sometime next year, 2024. So it's been a slow process, you know. It's been a good 4 years of Pluto hanging out in the same position. Which is fine by me, bring it on. Okay, what else can we say? Saturn. I think we've pretty much done it. Venus at the end of Scorpio. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about much else. This is already 20 minutes long. Thank you so much for being here. It's beautiful to have all of you be a part of this. Thank you so much, Zenithians. I love you so much. I would love to read for you. I would love to be your coach. I would love to offer you all these other services I have. If you're interested, reach out to me. Listen to my new song, Heart Womb. It was recorded in Santa Cruz, in secret. And I finished it in Houston. Long story, but yeah, it's really beautiful. There's cellos on it, there's mandolin, and then there's me playing most of the instruments. But anyway, E.T. Rainbow Yantra, check out my new single,